Welcome to the Tampa Bay IIBA chapter. Today's masterclass is Lead Without Authority, How BAs Elevate Outcomes Through Influence by our guest speaker, Shweta. Shweta is bringing lots of good information to us and a poll, so we expect you to be involved. Before we begin, let me tell you who I am. My name is Thea Soren. I'm the president of this chapter. I'm helped write the Babok. I helped do a bunch of stuff, but all of that was preparing me to help you. If you need help, please reach out. The fastest way to reach me is on LinkedIn. For over 20 years, the IIBA has been working for us. We have over 30,000 members, 120 chapters, 1,500 volunteers, and 500 partners worldwide. This is the organization that is the governing body for business analysts, just like PMI is the governing body for project managers. And benefits of joining our chapter, benefits of joining the IIBA, you get access to training provided by chapters across the globe, complimentary access to over 25,000 outstanding books, including the Babok, along with webinars and additional resources. You get discounts on our certification exams, and the discounts are greater than your membership fee. Let me know if you want any more information about the IIBA. But if you haven't been on the website lately, I want you to know that they have so much that's new. The Knowledge Center is about halfway totally changed. And they also have the Babok Guide Technique Simulator, and they're wanting your feedback for that. IIBA chapters are in major cities around the world. If there is not an active chapter near you, we can talk about you starting a chapter, or you're welcome to the Tampa Bay IIBA. Members of the Tampa Bay, Florida chapter are not restricted to residents of Florida. In fact, we have members literally all around the globe. If you do not have an IIBA chapter, Tampa Bay can be your chapter. Our vision here at the Tampa Bay IIBA is building a thriving community of empowered business analysts. So why would you choose to join Tampa Bay? We offer multiple training sessions each week, including the CBAT prep and coaching and acclaimed SDLC workshop, among other things. You can view our upcoming events here at our website, and we post them across LinkedIn and Facebook. And at the end of 2025, we had presented over 400 events since 2021. So those events are all available on YouTube on our channel there, but that's a lot to have to go through. So go to Bob's Amazing Index at rpchurchill.com and you can see the index and find where they are. And he's got perfect little links that will take you directly to that part of the video. This is our board here at Tampa Bay. These are the folks who work behind the scenes for your benefit. We appreciate each of them working so diligently to benefit you, our participants. The output of all of that work, we won an award. The 2025 Professional Development Award is a global award given to only one chapter, and it was given to us. Another result of all that work is the students have reached out to tell us that our training and mentoring is a big part of their success in achieving their certification. Many of these have gone on to either lead IIBA chapters or in their organizations, and I'm really excited about that because it means we make leaders here. I want to take a moment to appreciate all of our partners. Our number one partner group is you, the IIBA members, and those who participate with our chapter. We're partnered with over a dozen other IIBA chapters worldwide and mentoring 3 chapters that are just forming. Some of these groups provide training and meetings in ways similar to our own, but I want you to check out the Bluegrass chapter as they have some training sessions that are rather interesting. We've partnered with the Doback group out of the UK and these in the Tampa Bay area. We've successfully partnered with several recruiting services and training companies, including SoftEd, our newest training company. These are our recruiting partners here. They are there to help you find a job if you need it. I'm going to turn it over to Esther to talk about our partnership with Purdue University.
Hello, everyone. The IIBA Tampa Bay chapter is doing an amazing project, I would say. or an amazing collaboration initiative with Purdue University here in the United States. And what does this partnership entail? We are serving as industry coaches to their masters in artificial intelligence and masters in data science students. What does this mean? We're giving the students an opportunity to get real world, real industry experience. And a couple of us on this call are presently serving as mentors for these opportunities. So just saying, I might be able to open the slot to maybe a few people. If you're interested in being an industry coach, please connect with me on LinkedIn and we would see how to make that possible. But this is an amazing initiative. The students get to work on real life projects handheld by real life industry coaches. So that's what the partnership is about. Thank you.
Esther, would you drop your name into the chat so people can reach out to you?
Okay, I will do that.
And one last note, to be a mentor, they're wanting people with real world experience. If you have at least 5 years of experience, you could help them and they would really appreciate it. So don't feel like you got to have as much as, some of the
20,
old people have.
30, nope.
Hey, stop it. Another benefit of having our associations and our partnerships is that we get discounts and we can pass them on to you. Watermark Learning offers you a 40% discount using this code. That means you can get unlimited access to 1,200 CBAP practice test questions at a 40% discount. Watermark tools are what I use for the CBAP training classes, and many of my students have expressed how effective these tools are. Adaptive US, which specializes only in business analysis, has over 90 free items on their website, and they offer our participants a 20% discount on all live classes and on-demand courses, excluding the IIBA exam vouchers. Adaptive does have an impressive guarantee. If you take the certification course and you don't pass the test, they will pay for you to retake it twice. That means they really stand behind their training. They believe you'll be able to pass the test. That's pretty cool. Now it's time to grab your calendars. First of all, on February 3rd, the IIBA yearly membership rates increased slightly. So whenever they renew, you're going to expect us to pay the higher rate. The early bird rates for the Project Summit Business Analysis World event that will be held in Orlando on April 27th through 29th have an early bird discount that expires in just a few days. Oh, it expires tomorrow. So if you're going to get your tickets, go ahead and get them now. If you want to get a group discount or have any questions, you can reach out to Jennifer. The early bird special for software testing for business analysts by David Verbanek is going to expire as of February 7th. So we want you to get your tickets for that. Right now, there's only a few people in the class. The class will make, but it's going to be a small enough class where you have time to ask questions and really understand what software testing is from a business analysis perspective. It's a 7-hour virtual workshop. This one I'm really excited about. Scott Ambler is going to join us on February 12th to present data skills for business analysts. Scott Ambler is one of the most influential thinkers on modern agile practices, a methodologist, an author, and an architect of Discipline Agile, whose work has helped organizations worldwide deliver better outcomes with clarity, discipline, and adaptability. And he also is a straight shooter. So you're going to enjoy that one. BA Live Conference is coming up in April, and they're virtually bringing us over 30 brilliant speakers and 12 months of access to those recordings, but the early bird pricing is currently it's going to end on February 13th. Right now, you can save 50 pounds, making your cost about $264 US. On February 12th is the last day for the early bird discount for the Building Business Capability Conference. It's going to save you a nice chunk of change if you can get it now, so get it while it's hot. SoftEd, another one of our partners, has 26 webinars free on their website, and they have this upcoming free webinar available to you. AI is your software testing partner, strategies every team should know. It's going to be at noon on February 12th. On February 19th, Tawo is bringing us Insights to Action, Automating Business Workflows with MS Fabric and Power Automate. Microsoft Fabric and Power Automate are powerful platforms that, when used together, can streamline workflows, reduce manual effort, and significantly improve business processes. And you can do it. On February 19th, following Taiwo's presentation, I'm going to kick off the CBAP study group for our chapter. This is a highly successful group I've taught since before I helped write the last version of the BABOK. It's a weekly study group that goes into September and gives you the PDUs required for you to apply for the test. I've had a good amount of additional material developed over the years, and I'll help you with your application. If you don't think you have enough experience to qualify for the CBAP, reach out to me on LinkedIn and let's have a conversation. You don't want to be stuck with incorrect information, and you can register for this now. So this would be what you would take if you want to get your CBAP in October of this year, but we only have 10 spots left. Speaking of getting your CBAP, if you don't have the BABOK version 3, right now the BABOK is showing as out of stock on Amazon, but there is a way to get it. If you go over to the used or on the right-hand side of Amazon and scroll down, you can see the used versions, and then below that you can see new versions that cost a little bit more than the used versions. You're free to get a used version anywhere. A-Books has used versions sometimes, but you just have to check your prices. But whatever you do, be sure you get version 3 whenever you get the BABOK, and be sure it's in the language you speak. The BABOK has been translated into, I think, 8 different languages, and German is the first one that pops up whenever I look for it on Amazon. On February 26th, Rochelle Tan will bring an actual case study from her own experience. It's an insightful case study of how problem-solving workshops help overcome bottlenecks and unlock sustainable improvements in business transformation. On March 5th, Ashley Snow, our very own PM, explores how business analysts and project managers can work together to balance speed and value by clearly decoupling solutions and project domains. Learn how focusing on the right scope ensures teams not only deliver faster, but deliver outcomes that truly matter. And the last one I'm going to tell you about tonight is on March 12th, Tamara Koppel explores how business analysis can be scaled down for small businesses without losing impact. Learn how just enough analysis helps entrepreneurs and consultants make better decisions, avoid costly mistakes, and focus where effort matters most. If you want to know where you can register for all of these, go to tampabay.iiba.org. That is our website. Also, we put information on our LinkedIn site. You can join our LinkedIn group, IIBA Tampa Bay Chapter in Florida, USA. And we put all of our recordings on YouTube, open to everybody. Everybody can access them. So you can see our 200 recordings, over 200 there. And don't forget, rpchurchill.com has the index for that. Now to our presentation. I'll turn it over to Shweta.
Awesome. Thank you. Such a great information. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. Please let me know when you are able to see the screen.
We can see it.
Awesome. Okay, so let's start here. I have to move a little bit. Okay. Okay, so good evening, everyone, and thank you so much, IIBA Tampa, for inviting me for the presentation. It is my pleasure to be here with all of you. Thank you all for joining us today. So let me start with a very quick story, and I think that story will resonate with all of you. So imagine a business analyst walks into a requirement meeting, no title, no authority, and no magic wand. Just a laptop, a notebook, and a very optimistic agenda. All stakeholders arrive from different places. And one says, we need this done yesterday. Another says, we need this perfect. And someone else says, this was not in the scope. And everybody slowly turns down to the business analyst. Now, the BA doesn't pull rank because there is no rank. The BA don't force any decision because, again, that's not an option. Instead, BA does what BAs do best. BA asks thoughtful questions. BA listens very carefully, and trust me, sometimes BAs listen more than they plan to listen. BA clarifies assumptions, and BA reframe the problem. BA help everyone realize that everyone present in the room, all stakeholders, are trying to solve the same business problem or the same business need. And suddenly, something interesting happens. Without any authority, alignment starts to form. Decisions get made, and priorities get clearer. And people leave the meeting saying, wow, that was surprisingly productive meeting. And that moment right there is our BA box in action. Communication, stakeholder engagement, analytical thinking, and leadership and influencing. All of these were happening quietly without any title. And that's what we are going to talk about today. Because business analysts don't lead with authority, we lead with influence. And if you have been that BA, congratulations, you have been leading all along. And I promise you today, I will give you 4 basic pillars how to build your influence. So now very quickly, let's do a quick poll here. So if Esther, you can help me with the poll in the chat, that would be awesome. I cannot see in the chat if you have put the Mentimeter over here, but my poll question for you guys is, what's your biggest challenge when working with stakeholders? Let's have 30 seconds or a minute here. What's your biggest challenge when working with stakeholder? Stakeholder resistance, lack of authority, conflicting priorities, communication breakdown, or getting buy-in? Okay, somebody put on the chat if someone is not on board and joysticks. Okay, that's a good one. So this result, the poll of this result is going to be very helpful for us. Conflicting priorities, awesome. What I like about this poll is none of these problems are technical problems. They are all people problems. And what's interesting is that this challenges point the same skill gap. All of these challenges points to the one skill gap, and that is influence. The good news, influence is core capability. Already we have embedded in the BA box, and tonight we are going to make it practical and usable in our day-to-day work. So let me ask you this thing, and I do really want you to think about it for a moment. How many times, how many of you have worked on a requirement that was technically correct, logically sound, validated, reviewed, and still somehow got rejected? And when that happened, it probably was not because requirement was wrong. It was because something else was missing. I have been BA for almost 15 years. And what I have learned working as a BA is decisions are rarely made on logic alone. They are made on trust. Do I trust this person who's bringing the requirements forward? Understanding, do I truly get why this matter? And confidence, do I feel safe supporting the decisions? This is where the difference between authority and influence really shows up. Authority says, Do this because I said so. And let's be honest, we business analysts don't have that luxury. Influence, on the other hand, says, let's move forward because we all believe in that. Influence invites collaboration. Authority demands compliance. And if you really look closely at the BA box, this is already embedded in how we as a BA are expected to work. BA box doesn't describe the BA as someone who enforces the decision. It describes BA as someone who facilitates understanding, engages stakeholders, and guide outcomes, often without formal authority. And that means whether you realize it or not, influence is already a part of our role. Every time you ask a clarifying question instead of making assumption, every time you reframe a problem so stakeholder sees the bigger picture, every time you help a group with competing priorities aligning on business value, you are just not analyzing, you are influencing. And that's why influence is not optional for BA. It's essential. It's essential because without influence, even the best requirement can stop. But the influence, conversation moves forward, resistance softens, and decision happens. And we are going to learn together how to make influence visible, practical, and repeatable. So we, as a BA, can lead our conversation confidently, and even when we do not have the title or authority to back us up. So let's start with first building block of influence. The first pillar of influence is connection. And connection is really about trust. Influence does not begin with solutions or documents. It begins with relationships. One of the biggest reasons stakeholders resist requirement is not because they disagree. It's because they don't feel heard. Think about the last time when stakeholders pushed back. Chances are what they really wanted was to know, do you understand my perspective? And BA Borg emphasizes on stakeholder engagement and communications because trust is what allows those to work. As a BA, we influence faster when stakeholders feel heard, even before we ask them to agree on something. And to build the trust, I want to share a simple tool you can use in almost any conversation. And I call it 3-minute trust builder. And the best part is it does not take time. It's 3-minute trust builder. So step 1, acknowledge perspective. Acknowledge perspective. This doesn't mean you agree. It means you show understanding. Step 2, align on shared goal. Most conflicts exist because people think they are working towards different outcomes. And as a BA, we can help reconnect everyone to the same business objective. And step 3, confirm understanding. This is where you check, did I get this right? When stakeholders feel understood, resistance drops and influence rises. This is the influence without any authority. And it is one of the fastest way to build trust in any BA conversation. let me share a story from my own experience. Recently, in my recent role at my organization, I was leading a big portfolio program over here on the implementing the security program for my organization. And one of the department, they never agreed on anything. Fully pushed back, like, we don't want any security program. We don't want to take part of it. So what we did is we started with 3-minute trust builder. First thing we did is we sat down and tried to understand their perspective. Why do they think that it's not necessary for them? And that way they felt that, okay, we are listening, we are hearing, we are trying to understand them. Second thing, align to the shared goal. We showed them that how it is important for our organization to have this program, and your service line is a big part of it. So then once they saw themselves how they were aligning to the shared goal of the organization, we got the buy-in. We were able to build the trust. And that was the first way. So next step, let's build trust now with a quick activity. I'm going to put a very common BA statement on the screen. What my request to you is use that 3-minute trust builder, acknowledge perspective, align a shared goal, and confirm understanding. And then rewrite this sentence. We need this requirement finalized today. I'm going to put a 30-second timer over here. So put in the chat, please rewrite this statement with 3-minute trust builder. Anybody? I don't see anybody's chat here. If someone can help me, if you are seeing anything in the chat.
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, I understand your desire to get the completed as soon as possible. And please, there is no right or wrong. Just focus on building the trust. And you will see how the tone shifts from pressure to partnership. And that small change builds trust. I trust your abilities to get the requirements completed today. Nice one. We could say here, I understand there is lot of things happening right now. Our shared goal is to keep the project moving smoothly. If we can finalize this requirement today, it will help avoid rework and delay the project. Does that align with your understanding? So then when I take it from their perspective, align with the shared goal, and give the direction, checking with them, does it align with the understanding? Yeah, I would like to understand what, oh, sorry, I cannot read. That's awesome. The requirements is full alignment with stakeholders order to proceed today. Perfect. Okay, so next one. So now we build the connection. Our connection is established. The next pillar for influence is credibility. And credibility answers a very simple question. Stakeholders are always asking, can I trust you to guide this? And for BA, credibility is not about knowing everything. It's about being consistent, prepared, and clear. BA BOK emphasizes professional effectiveness and analytical thinking, and credibility is where those come in the life. Stakeholders don't expect perfection. They expect clarity. And here is something important to remember. Credibility is built in small moments. I will say it again. Credibility is built in small moments. How you summarize a meeting, the questions you ask, and how clearly you connect requirements to business value. These moments tell stakeholder, and then stakeholders say, this person knows what they are doing. And this is another way, or the fastest way, VAs can build their credibility by turning complexity into clarity. When everybody else sees the confusion, BA organize the conversation. And that's the influence. Credibility grows when stakeholders feel confident saying, I trust this BA to help us move forward. And once credibility is in place, influence becomes much easier. So I was telling you my story about implementing the security program. With the implementation of the security program, our team, built the credibility. And guess what? Because we built the credibility, our organization has trusted us to start the another implementation. And guess what it is? Implementing AI in the organization. That's a huge responsibility. They didn't just give us that whole project to us, but because we built the trust and credibility from our small steps that we took in our last project, they felt that we can take this project forward. So very quickly, we will have an activity for building a credibility. So let's see how credibility shows up in everyday work. I'm going to describe two ways a BA might respond after a requirement meeting. And what you need to do is you just need to put in the chat A or B. So option A, here are the meeting notes. Let me know if you have questions. Option B, here is a summary of today's discussion, the agreed upon priorities, and the next steps tied to our business goal. Please confirm this aligns with your understanding. Amazing. Option B. Everybody is choosing the option B because that is the clarity and it's building the credibility. It's reducing the confusion, setting the direction, and building confidence. Again, all without authority. Credibility is not about doing more work. It's about doing the right work clearly. So once our trust and credibility is in place, influence really shows up in how we communicate. For business analysts, communication is not about talking more. It's about creating understanding. And our BA BOK places a strong emphasis on communication skills because misunderstanding are one of the biggest reasons projects struggle. Communication breakdowns doesn't happen because people are not speaking. They happen because people feel misunderstood. So influential BA communicates in a way that helps stakeholders feel heard, respected, and aligned, and even when there is a disagreement. So one simple structure that works incredibly well in throughout the conversation is three-part influence script. It's called three-part influence script. What I am hearing is what matter most is, and let's explore options that supports both. This structure does three things. It shows you are listening. It shows it connects to what's most important. and it invites collaboration instead of resistance. So when stakeholders feel understood, they stop pushing back and leaning in. In my previous example about establishing the program, when I was getting all the pushback from most of the service lines or departments, the best thing I could do is communicate clearly, hear their perspective, and align it with the shared goal, sharing that why it is most important. And then connecting those dots, inviting that collaboration. I was not doing by myself. Bring your stakeholders in the journey with you. And that's the success recipe. So quick activity again here on building our communication. So let's practice how the real world will be a scenario. So imagine a stakeholder says during the meeting, we don't have time for this requirement. I'm sure most of us have heard that. We don't have time for this requirement. So use that three-part structure and type your response in the chat. I'm going to put the timer again over here. Anybody, if you know? Okay, three-part structure. Hearing, listening, anybody? Yeah. Nothing in the chat. Anybody would like to reframe it? And feel free to mute yourself and speak if you would like to. There is some who is concerned the requirement gathering will to take long. What's matter most? It's the right thing. So yeah, good. Awesome. I like when there is just one response and then we hear from everybody. Perfect. So notice how this responses shift the conversation from resistance to the understanding. And again, that's the influence from communication. And that's our core competency, the communication in action. So the fourth pillar, I promised I will give you four pillars. So this is the fourth pillar for building our influence, is encouragement. And it's the most overlooked tool we have. Encouragement does not mean agreeing to everything. What it really means is acknowledging efforts, constraints, and contribution. Again, acknowledging efforts, constants, and contributions. So BA highlights stakeholder engagement, and encouragement is what keeps people engaged, especially when there is a long or complex project. When we keep encouraging our people, our stakeholders, they will be engaged. And when stakeholders feel appreciated, they participate more. When they feel ignored, they get disengaged. So encouragement builds psychologically safety. A psychological safety creates better conversation, better decisions, and better outcomes. For BAs, encouragement shows up in small but very powerful ways. Recognize stakeholders' inputs, thank them for being clear, and acknowledge their constraints while still moving forward. Encouragement says, I see you, I value your input, and we are in this together. I see you, I value your input, and we are in this together. That's what encouragement says. Sorry, one more activity here. So let's turn this thing into the practical, and this is going to be very easy. Here is very neutral BA follow-up statement. And what we need to do is we need to rewrite this sentence in an encouragement way, how we can write it. So the statement is, please review the updated requirement and send feedback. How can we write it with our encouragement? Type your version of encourage statement. I am going to put the timer here. Seeing none, anybody would like to speak? Okay, would appreciate if you would like to review updated requirements and provide valuable feedback. Okay. There is one more. Respect your ideas and I would love your inputs on this requirement. Your review of the update requirement will be so valuable to the success of our project. I look forward to receiving. Please let me know if you have any questions. Everyone's feedback is important. Please review the updated requirements from your perspective and let us know for additional inputs. Amazing. So you see how encouragement changes the tone without changing the task. We are still asking for them to review the requirement, but we are asking with the encouragement. So when we combine connection, credibility, communication, and encouragement, all of these, when we combine, influence becomes natural and not forced. So as we wrap up tonight, I want to give you something simple and practical, and it's called the influence blueprint that you can take to your work and apply immediately. So step 1, connection, which is trust. Influence begins with relationship. Stakeholder influence faster when they feel heard. Remember the 3-minute trust builder. Acknowledge perspective, align on shared goal, and confirm understanding. When you connect first, everything else follows smoothly. So connect first. Credibility. Credibility is how stakeholders answer the question, can I trust the BA to guide us? Build it by being consistent, prepared, and clear. Small moments matter. Summaries, clarifying questions, connecting requirements to business value, all those things matter, and that helps us building our credibility. Communication, clear, influential communication is about helping stakeholders feel understood. The 3-part influence script works wonders. What I am hearing is, what matter most is, and let's explore options that supports both. And this moves conversation from resistance to collaboration. And step 4, encouragement. Encouragement is secret multiplier of influence. Acknowledge effort, recognize constraints, and appreciate contributions. Encouragement does not mean agreeing. It means creating psychological safety so stakeholders engage fully. So here is my challenge for you for your next meeting. Pick any of one pillar, connection, credibility, communication, or encouragement, and intentionally apply it. And then you will see the notice this will make. That one small step will start building influence today. So now, if we go back to our first poll that we did, the challenges we feel as a BA, If there is a stakeholder resistance, it's probably not about stubborn people. It's usually about trust and understanding.
Can you see your results?
Yeah. So getting buy-in is the most, and then conflicting priorities. Stakeholders, lack of authority is 0, and communication breakdowns. Awesome. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen again. You want to see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah, perfect. So stakeholder resistance, it's not about stubborn people. It's usually about trust and understanding. Lack of authority, I'm so glad that it's 0 there, because this one always makes me smile. BAs almost never have the formal authority to make the decision, but we have the power to make the influence. And conflicting priorities. Conflicting priorities usually mean people are trying to solve different problems at the same time. So our job as a BA is bring them together and making sure that everybody is working towards that shared goal. Communication breakdown. Communication breakdowns don't mean that we are not talking. What it really means is we are not understanding each other very well. So there is a lack of understanding. As a BA, our job is to create that understanding between all our stakeholders and getting buy-ins. And buy-in does not come from better documentation. It comes from strong relationship. So thank you so much, everybody. I really enjoyed like how your feedback was or your responses was. Fantastic work. I really loved seeing your insights and the creative ways you can increase your influence growing it. So now for me, your feedback is invaluable. Please take a moment and share your thoughts. What resonated? What challenged you, and how I can increase my influence level, and how I can better communicate to make an impact. So please scan the QR code or go to the link here, which is on the screen. The code on the screen that you need to put is talk. And please, please, please share your feedback so that I can improve. I believe the presentation will be shared with all attendees as well. So you will have this slide. Again, please feel free to scan the QR code. And last but not least, thank you everybody for your time. Thank you. Thank you so much. And I appreciate all of you. Thank you.
Well, Shweta, I'd been told that you were a powerhouse, and you have proven it. Good job. Big round of
Thank you.
applause for Shweta, guys.
Thank
And I want
you.
to give some notice to the people that responded in the chat and put in your
Mhm.
stories. Some of you y'all rock. I mean, you obviously know what you're doing. Some of you are working on getting better, and that is wonderful. But Shweta, you're working on getting better, and you want us to give you reviews. So,
Yeah.
guys, spend some time, show her a little bit of love, okay?
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm big advocate of personal growth. I'm learning every day, I'm improving every day, and you guys can help me in improving. So please share your feedback. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Does anyone have
Yeah.
any questions for Shweta?
I
No,
think she
I just,
should present, so sorry, Rebecca. I think she should
that's all right.
represent the feedback so people can, and just leave it on the screen. I think people want to
Yes.
have
No,
access
that'd
to
be
that.
great. That'd be great.
Go ahead, Rebecca.
Okay.
Oh, I liked what you said about communication and the lack of buy-in isn't due to not talking enough, that it has to do with people f feeling misunderstood or left out of it. And yeah, I think sometimes it is hard for somebody even to make that step to contribute in the first place. So if you encourage them, then that can get them more on board and more engaged. So yeah, thank
Well
you.
said.
Thank you.
Wonderful insights. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well said, Rebecca. Any other questions for Shweta? Okay. I do have a brief announcement on the company that I work for is one of the very best companies I've ever worked for in my life. As a contractor, there's a whole lot of companies that aren't so great. My company is hiring 32 business analysts. Yeah, it's a lot. That you would be joining a center of excellence that already has 80 business analysts. We are very picky. We want good quality, but we are hiring at all levels. So if you are in the United States and you're interested and you don't need sponsorship, you can connect with me on LinkedIn and I'm happy to meet with you and talk with you and see what your skills are and see if I would be willing to forward you on to them. And the only reason I say if I would be willing is because I've got to protect my reputation with them too. So I need to know who you are before I just pass you on. They are only taking referrals. So that's the way to do it. So contact me, link with me on LinkedIn, and I'll set up some time where we can have a chat and I can get to know you just a little bit. If you know anybody else who's looking for a business analysis job, please let me know, or please let them know to contact me. Also, I have a jobs group. It's US jobs that I put about 20 jobs or 50 jobs every day on there of posts that I see. I've got 17,000 connections, so I may see things you don't see. So if any job that a BA could do, if it's an administrator, a chief of staff, a BA, data analyst, all the jobs that we can do, I've tried to put on there so that if you need a job, maybe you can find what you need there. If you know anybody who wants to either post jobs or at jobs, they can join the group. It's not a charge thing. It's something we do here from Tampa Bay to try to help all of our community.
Yeah. Then I also want to add, Thea, could you please share your LinkedIn profile
I
for
will.
people? I was able to find it, but I don't know if that one is gonna work. So if that link works for everyone, um, please do that. And I also want to encourage everyone. We have amazing events lined up for the whole of this year. So please join us again next week. And most importantly, we're doing an automation series. Earlier on this month, we had a session where we talked about AI agents. These sessions are practical, they're hands-on. Then we have another session, BA Live, the real BA Live, where we have practical conversations on business analysis. So I think, in about 2 weeks. And also, we have Scott Ambler coming to speak to us, data analysis. So please come in. We also have another session where we're having um, automation with Microsoft Fabric. If you're interested in learning how to use that interface by doing some form of automation with it, please join us this February. We have amazing sessions lined up. And again, if you also want to be a speaker, you have something important you want to share with us, that's the IIBA Tampa Bay chapter. Once again, please reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'll send you the speaker interest form and you let us know your availability, the date you want to speak. We would love to hear from you. And I can assure you, even from seeing the chat, we have an amazing audience, an interactive audience, people that really want to learn from you. And we're looking forward to the great, the good that we're going to do together. And also, if, for example, you also want to be a part of the Podium Mentorship, that's being an industry coach and industry mentor, once again, please reach out to me and we will make you work. Thank you very much.
And I'm going to drop Esther's LinkedIn profile here also, so you can reach out to her easily that way. If you need to ask her questions that is outside the applications.
Yeah,
We've got a
and
lot of
Alicia posted the links already, the direct links in the chat. If you want to be a guest speaker, please fill the speaker interest form. Then, if you also want to volunteer, we have amazing events and programs planned out for this year as well. Please fill that out and be a part of our volunteer team, the scholarship, everything Tampa Bay. Thank you.
So for those of you who aren't haven't been with us very long, we did an SDLC experience workshop last year that we had 70 people total in and got rave reviews from our participants and our mentors. We're planning on doing that again at the second half of this year, and it's going to be even better. We're looking for organizations that want to take this model and do it also, and we can bring you in as a mentor so you can see how we run behind the scenes so that you can do it on your own. But we are going to be doing that probably starting July. We're going
Yeah.
to get that up. We have a lot of things going on. We all have a lot of things to benefit you, but we can't benefit you if you don't come to us, and we can't benefit those that you know if they don't come to us. So tell people about us. Tell people about Shweta too. I have a feeling she might want to do more speaking, and
Thank
she's so good
you.
at it. Shweta, one of the
Yeah.
people said it's like she's narrating a book. She's so smooth, and I'm like, yep, that's true. You're
Oh,
that good. You're that
thank
good.
you.
And
Ladies and
Shweta,
gentlemen,
we don't
go
mind
ahead.
having you back again.
Yeah,
Anytime, I would love to come and add value wherever I can. That's what my mission is, to add value in people's life any way I can do. So
that's
yeah, thank
excellent.
you. I'm honored. Thank
That's
you.
excellent. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we will see you back here next Thursday. Thank you so much for participating. Bring your friends. We can help them too. And I'll be sending out the PDU CDU email in the morning whenever I can get the link to this recording as well as Shweta's presentation on it. And so we'll be giving you that information. I'm going to close down the meeting. I hope everybody has a wonderful evening. Take care.
Thanks, everybody.
Yep. See ya.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you, Stephen.